Hello everyone, we are Alba, Angela, Elsa and Arianda and we are going to talk about Michelangelo. First, we are going to explain a little bit about of his life and then we are going to talk about his sculptures, architecture and paintings.
He was an Italian Renaissance architect, sculptor and painter, considered one of the greatest artists in history. He developed his artistic work over more than 70 years between Florence and Rome, cities in which he left his masterpieces. He was born on March 6 of 1475 in Capri, Italy. He learned painting in the workshop of Domenico Ghirlandaio and sculpture in the Garden of the Medici, who had assembled an exceptional collection of ancient statues. Michelangelo is usually recognized as the great figure of the Italian Renaissance, a man whose exceptional artistic personality dominated the creative scene of the 16th century. In 1496, he moved to Rome, where he made two sculptures that made him famous, the Bacchus and the Pieta di San Pedro. Finally, he died on February 18 of 1564 in Rome, Italy.
Mary. This was his first ecclesiastic commission. It was created when he was 23 years old, between 1498 and 1499, and it is located in the Vatican. It represents Mary holding the body of a young Christ lying on her lap. Despite the tragedy of the theme, the figures project an immaculate image. It is the only work that has the artist's signature, which can be observed in the sash of Mary. David. Returning to Florence after 5 years in Rome, Michelangelo built his version of David. This splendid sculpture of approximately 5 meters high and 5,572 kilograms presents the young man who fought against Goliath naked. It was a commission to celebrate the new reigning peace in Florence. For this reason, for a time, it rested in its main square as a symbol of its dignity. Moses. It is one of the 3 statues he created for the tomb of Pope Julius II, located in Rome. It was sculpted between 1513 and 1515. It reflects the moment in which the prophet Moses contemplates with anger and indignation how the Israelites have abandoned the cult of Jehovah, giving themselves over idolatry.
In 1516, Michelangelo had his first architectural project for the facade of the Florentine church by Pope Leo X. He was already a great artist, having created David and painted frescoes in the Sistine Chapel. Michelangelo intended to represent the Gothic style. First of all, to contextualize Michelangelo architecture, I'm going to talk about the characteristics of the Gothic art. In religious architecture, it represents the theocentric idea of the light of God, such as the monasteries and cathedrals. The use of pointed arcs that ended in a pointed shape and generate a sensation of great height and show the orientation of the light. It was applied to domes, doors, and windows. For example, in the library of Laurentia, we can see the Gothic style. In any corner, a large dome with large windows through which light can pass, and door with an arch that ended in a pointed shape. Another monument is the Basilica of San Pedro. It was inspired by the Pantheon. You can also see large windows in the dome, and everything is very loud, like the characteristic of the Gothic. And the last example, the Chapel of the Medici, it was the same characteristic as the library and the Basilica.
The Delphic Sibyl is a fresco in the Sistine Chapel in the Vatican City. It was painted in the year 1509. It measures 350 centimeters high and 380 centimeters wide. As its name suggests, the painting represents the Delphic Sibyl from Greco-Roman mythology. The fresco is a part of a series placed at the base of the Sistine Chapel, in which the Old Testament prophets are alternated with the pagan sibyls. These prophets and Sibyls occupy triangular spaces and are the largest figures in the Sistine Chapel. Late medieval and Renaissance Catholic iconography maintained the Sibyls because they considered that they were endowed with the ability to see the future and they could announce the arrival of Christ. Like the rest of Michelangelo's paintings, the figure is sculptural, with a study of anatomy, although its complexion corresponds more to that of a muscular young man. The face of the Sibyl is very similar to that of the Madonnas that Michelangelo painted in his youth. The Creation of Adam is a fresco on the wall of the Sistine Chapel, painted by Michelangelo around the year 1511. It illustrates one of the 9 episodes of Genesis, in which God gives life to Adam, the first man. Chronologically, it is the fourth of the panels depicting episodes from Genesis on the sailing of the couple. It was one of the last to be completed and is one of the most appreciated and recognized works of art in history. God is represented as an old man with a beard, wearing a purple robe. His left arm is wrapped around a female figure, usually interpreted as Eve, who has not yet been created and is waiting in the heavens to be given a place on earth. God's right arm is outstretched to impart the spark of life from his own finger to Adam's, whose left arm is in the identical position as God's. The fact that both fingers are separated by a minimum distance is very famous. The painting took 3 to 4 years to be completed. The identical positions of God and Adam are based on Genesis 1:27, which says that God created man in his image and likeness. At the same time, God, who appears floating in the air, contrasts with the earthly image of Adam, who is found lying on a stable triangular of earth.
This is the end of our presentation. We hope that you enjoyed and learned something about Michelangelo.